The Lake Erie Grape Discovery Center is the official visitors center for the New York State Lake Erie Concord Grape Belt Heritage Area. Supporting and promoting the grape industry, visit us and learn about grape growing history in the Lake Erie region. Shop for grapey gifts, taste local wine in a Concord vineyard. Westfield Memorial Hospital provides high-quality health care to residents of Western New York, offering patients the most sophisticated medical advancements while keeping the ease and familiarity of a community hospital. Support for Chautauqua Sunrise has been provided by WRFA 107.9 FM, Jamestown's public radio station, streaming online 24/7 at WRFALP.com. Low power to the people. Funding is provided by a grant from New York State Senator Catherine M. Young, representing Western New York's 57th District with a local office in Olean. Chautauqua Sunrise is made possible by a grant from Fredonia Place, a continuing care retirement community providing dignity in a modern luxury environment. Meter's Restaurant, a family tradition for over 50 years in downtown Ripley, is a proud supporter of Chautauqua Sunrise. Meter's provides all-day dining, banquet services, and custom catering, specializing in pie. From the Access Channel 5 studios in Mayville, it's Chautauqua Sunrise. Chautauqua Sunrise is hosted by Doc Hamels and supported by the award-winning volunteers at Access Channel 5. Continuing the traditions of Senior Report, we are here to share local news, colorful interviews, and events of interest to everyone. Chautauqua Sunrise is broadcast live Saturday mornings each week, countywide, from 9 to 10 a.m. Join us by calling in live, emailing us, or checking out our social media. And now, from the Channel 5 studios, it's Chautauqua Sunrise.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm Doc Hamels, and welcome to Chautauqua Sunrise. Today, this morning, is truly a Chautauqua Sunrise. Have you been outside yet? Wowzer! The last couple of days have been beautiful sunrises. Some have had sort of an orangey pink cast to it. It's just gorgeous out. I hope you're enjoying the weather here in Chautauqua County, and if this is your first autumn, fall, whatever you want to call it, this is awesome. This is just a tremendous weather pattern we're in. I know it's going to rain next week, but that's just also part of the typical weather pattern here. But anyways, it was just a great morning, and the sun that was hitting the trees, they were like just glowing, the oranges and the yellows and things like that. So I love Chautauqua County. It's a great place to be and to raise a family, and gosh, it's great. Well, I don't know what it's like out at your house these days, but I've got the following thing going on. I got these orange beetles that come out every year and they attack me. They just must have hatched yesterday. I don't know out your way, but they were flying around, give me the business. And then I got these stink bugs. You got stink bugs? Oh, they stink terrible. Jeff, you got them at your house? They're ugly looking things. They look like they're from Jeff has them. They're everywhere. And now I'm told don't throw them outside. You're supposed to drown them, because if you throw them outside, they lay more eggs and there's more stink bugs. So everybody's giving me their opinions. So they're flying around, the ladybug type. They're not ladybugs. They look like ladybugs. They're flying around, and political signs are flying around. So it's that time of year. Woo! Crazy season. Oh my gosh! But whatever you do, don't touch those stink bugs with your fingers or use a cloth or something, because I don't know if they spray, but it's just this horrible smell. And those other little beetles, stinky things. Okay, speaking of political signs flying around the county, I hope that you enjoyed our series that we had the last couple of weeks of the interviews for the political candidates. I've gotten some really very positive feedback from the community and the candidates themselves about the process, and they're still out on YouTube forever and ever and ever. But I hope you enjoyed it. It was not this show, but it was Destination Chautauqua County, Chris Burt's baby, and he put a lot of time and effort into that. So if you run into Chris, give him a high five or a thanks, because he put a lot of time and thought into that process. But we're thinking that might be the format for the future, where we interview them, and I think people got to see people running for office more in a more natural setting rather than an aggressive, defensive, offensive kind of a thing where it gets kind of nasty. Anyways, just wanted to mention that. Above my head somewhere, I can never tell on camera, so let's see if I can figure this out. No, it's on this side. It's everything's opposite, so I guess it's over my left shoulder, is our reminder that this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And ladies and gentlemen, if you have any concerns whatsoever, make sure you get to your doc and then forward over to the hospitals for your mammogram. I know only because I'm on the board of directors there that we have the 3D mammogram now in Westfield Memorial Hospital, and people are loving it. It's just a much better outcome for the pictures and so forth. So make sure you get out there, get checked out. We want you around for a long time, and this is something, if caught early enough, you can have a nice, long, happy life. Okay? Speaking of Westfield Memorial Hospital, they're one of my underwriters here. I do want to give them a quick plug. If you haven't driven by lately, as of yesterday, a whole new look outside. I won't tell you what it is. We got to get a picture of it, but there's a whole new look to it, a whole new feel to the hospital, and lots of good things coming down the road. So I do encourage you to check them out from time to time. Okay, what else we got going on here? I want to say good afternoon to our friends at WRFA 107.9, low power to the people over in Jamestown, who are going to be listening to us Tuesdays at 1 o'clock, and we do appreciate your support for that. And this show, like any other show, you're going to find extremely useful and very informative, and I think you're going to enjoy it. For those that are listening to me live right now, whatever time it is, a few minutes after 9 o'clock this morning, on the 21st of October, you can call in if you have a question. And folks, I know a lot of you are watching right now, and don't be shy, okay? We got a very nice person on the other side of the phone. We'll take your call, and he pushes a little magic button, and somehow I hear that you're on the line, and then we can talk to you. And every week you probably hear Linda Spalding call in. It's very effortless. It's no big deal. But if you have a question, this is the time to ask, because I got people here to talk to you, and you might have a burning question. We're going to be talking about healthcare, and especially for senior citizens and all that good stuff that we all love to talk about every year. But it's complicated, it's intricate, but we've got people here that'll make your life a whole lot easier and the process simpler. So I'm giving you a heads up on that. And the number that we flash the number 753-5225. If you're shy, call the number, tell them what your question is. They talk to me in my earpiece here, and then we'll ask the question, okay? So don't be shy. So let's get to a few announcements that are going on throughout Chautauqua County. And remember, if your club or organization has something going on, let us know, send it in, and we'll get it on the air for free, no problem. So let's go right to, speaking of Westfield Memorial Hospital, they're hosting a community bank, I gotta say this right, a community blood bank drive. This is coming Friday, October 27th, in the Meyer Cottage, which is the little building on the outside of the hospital, from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. The community blood bank drive is the only provider of blood and blood products to all hospitals in Chautauqua County. Didn't know that. Okay, we got a slide for this one. Children's Halloween Activity Night. This just came in yesterday. Excuse me. Raymore and Flanagan and the Resource Center are partnering to hold a Children's Halloween Activity Night Friday, October 27th. The free event will run from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Raymore and Flanagan Jamestown showroom located at 1001 Fairmont Avenue. Children will trick or treat inside the store, stopping at tables to pick up candy and engage in a frightfully fun activity. The tables also will have information about many services that the Resource Center offers to the community. In addition, there will be a costume parade with a panel of judges voting on the best costumes. The parade will take place at 7 o'clock. Those wishing to be included in the costume contest must register by 6:30. Registration forms are available at Raymore and Flanagan for those who want to register in advance. Besides the candy for children, there will be refreshments for parents. For more information, call Raymore and Flanagan at 483-31111 or the Resource Center at 483-2344. So, mark your calendar, fun night, Friday the 27th. And there's lots of different organizations that are having safe, fun Halloween activities throughout the area. So check the newspapers and we'll share as much as we have here as well. Okay, Girl Scouts Magazine and Munchies program returns. We've been talking about this a little bit, and basically the holidays are approaching fast. As I mentioned last week, my wife dragged me on the other side of Walmart into the holiday Christmas section. I just can't believe it's already up. Every year I think it's 2 days earlier than it was the year before. I saw Christmas commercials on TV already. I think it was M&M's or somebody earlier. All right, where was I? The Girl Scouts across Western New York will increase their financial literacy and use digital platforms to engage customers to purchase candy and nut products, along with magazines start from now till the 28th. So one more week of sales, then it's over. Now listen to this. This is what they're offering. Some of these sound really good. Dark chocolate mint penguins, dulce de leche owls, English butter toffee, peanut butter bears, dark chocolate caramel caps with sea salt, chocolate covered raisins, not fresh, fruit slices, and new items such as dill pickle peanuts, salt and pepper cashew halves, and a whole lot more. And of course, they also have their magazine subscriptions if you're not interested in some of those little treats. And I was told for equal opportunity, the Cub Scouts are having their food drive. I think they sell popcorn and all kinds of other things out there. So, folks, these are great gifts at the holidays or whatever. I always buy a few things from here, all of them. So, give them some support, and it helps with camp and all kinds of activities they do throughout the year. All right, slide number 16, Barcelona Lighthouse Informational Meeting. John Wolf was on recently, and we were talking about the Lighthouse in Barcelona. They're trying to put together a group called, the Friends Group for the Lighthouse. And basically it's going to be a group of volunteers that are going to help supply time and service to take care of the lighthouse and maybe do some fundraising and all that sort of thing. And they're trying to do this not-for-profit group. So if you're interested, it's going to be next Saturday. Saturday's going to be a busy day for a lot of people, from 9 to 10 a.m. in the morning. So if you're interested, go on over there. And if you can't make the meeting, certainly you can contact John Wolf over at the McClurg Mansion with the Chautauqua County Historical Society. Okay? Sounds like fun. Okay, my buddy and friends over at Rolling Hills Radio, all right, Ken Harley, they are announcing their 8th season. Seems hard to believe. It seems like they just started this. Rolling Hills Radio will open its 8th season on Monday, October 30th at 6:30 at Shawbucks in Jamestown. The show features Austin Walken Kane and Bess Greenberg. Okay, Austin Walken Kane, he's a musician. He calls Cleveland home. He offers original classic Delta blues with the bottleneck guitar, featuring slide guitar and soulful vocals. In 2015, he was the Blues Music Award nominee for the Best New Artist Album by the Blues Foundation in Memphis. That's pretty cool. And Bess Greenberg is from Binghamton, New York. He is recognized for rich, textured vocals and open-hearted lyrics. She performs on upright bass and a hollow body electric guitar. Okay, so all said and done, if you're interested, you can give them a call at the Chamber of Commerce, 484-1101 for tickets. And I do know they have an online webpage at the Chamber of Commerce, or you can look under Rolling Hills Radio on Facebook, and they're offering season tickets, and individual tickets for each show or 15 season tickets are $120. And I forgot how many shows it is, like 10 shows or something like that. Good stuff, bringing in talent from around the region, and what fun, good stuff. Okay, my friends over in Mayville, the Tuesday Club. I actually gave a talk about Chautauqua Sunrise there about a year ago. Lots of fun, good people. November marks Mayville Tuesday Club's break until April. So its November meeting will mark the beginning of its hiatus or break for the Mayville Tuesday Club members as they cuddle up with winter. I don't write this stuff. Up with winter while they look forward to the beginning once again in April. They are reminded to bring Blue Star Mothers items to send to servicemen and women for Christmas. They're going to be taking members on a trip across the ocean during the get-together starting at 1:30 November 7th with Kathleen Kennedy, a Tuesday Club member. She's going to talk about her trip to Spain and Portugal while showing photos of those countries. Okay, so that's a nice group of folks. They meet at the library, and that will be November 7th at 1:30. Okay, now this is a new one. The Girl Scouts of America, one more time, are celebrating. Girl Scouts of Western New York, Jamestown Building's 25th anniversary celebration. I'll read it. Girl Scouts of Western New York is proud to announce the celebration of a long-cherished Girl Scouts of Western New York building, the Jamestown Service Center. The entire community is invited Saturday, November 11th. Up on the hill, 2661 Horton Road. I know where we're talking about now, in Jamestown. It's a beautiful facility. The formal program begins at 11 a.m., and the interactive exhibits last until 3 p.m. Volunteers, staff, friends, and guests will celebrate the 25th anniversary of the construction of the beautiful Girl Scout Service Center in Jamestown. It is great up there. It's a great view of the area. The fun-filled day will include the unveiling of the time capsule, display of Girl Scout uniforms through the decades, special presentation of Girl Scouting in our communities of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Samples of the original Girl Scout cookie. I wonder what that would taste like. Camping and outdoor program highlights, songs and ceremonies, a lot more. And I know I was a Boy Scout, and I run past my old stuff from time to time, and I'm sure many of you were Girl Scouts that are on TV or watching TV right now and listening, and you probably like to go back and reminisce a little bit. All attendees will receive a special anniversary patch. For more information, give Jerry Lynn Hickey a call. It's 935-6047, or go to her email at jerrylyn, JERILYN .Hickey, HICKEY, at GSWNY.org. So jerrylyn.hickey at Girl Scout Western New York.org. Okay, and again, that's going to be November 11th. We'll mention that a couple more times. Okay, guys over in Ripley at the Rod and Gun Club, they're hosting an air rifle match coming up on November 5, weather permitting, starting at 9 a.m. And they're going to have their fall turkey shoots on November 5th and 12th, starting at noon. For more information, go to the Ripley's Facebook page at Ripley Rod and Gun. And finally, just to mark your calendar, December 2nd, remind you that the Lakeshore Model Railroad Association is going to put together their full ensemble of scale model railroads and their little buildings and all that good stuff, and that's going to be over in Erie, Pennsylvania, and we'll talk more about that. But December 2nd, mark your calendar if you're a miniature railroad buff. There's the information right there on the slide. Okay, I think that's all I have at the moment, so we're going to take a moment for a public service announcement, and we'll be right back with my guest. Stay tuned.
I'm Anne. I'm a scientist.
Recycling takes a team.
Why don't you let me and me help you out?
Everyone plays a part. Don't trash
I love taking stuff apart and building new things out of it.
what could be treasure.
Pal's my most advanced android. This is awesome. You haven't seen anything yet.
Give your cardboard box another life. Recycle.
Okay, we're back. I'm Doc Hamels. You're still watching Chautauqua Sunrise, and I hope you have a moment to sit back, get a pen and paper, because you might want to write down some of this information. Now, anytime I have the folks from the Office for the Aging, you might say, well, I'm not a senior citizen. Well, that's fine and dandy, good for you. But if you are the son or daughter of someone that's aging out, if you're the grandchild that goes over and visits grandma and grandpa, if you're the neighbor or whatever, we're all in this together, guys. And so the information we're going to be sharing today about a particular topic of insurance is going to be really important, because this can make or break somebody's economy, their budget, their lifestyle, whatever. So this is very, very important information. I, for one, am a senior citizen now, whether you knew it or not. I know it's hard to believe that I could be, but I've had to navigate the insurance system. Unfortunately for me, it was a little bit easier because I'm in a consortium of educators, but a lot of people don't have that luxury, and they're doing this on their own, or they're recently retired and they don't know what to do. So I'm not going to talk any further on this. I'm going to welcome back to the show Dr. Mary Ann Spanos from the Office for the Aging. You are the executive director. You're like the boss lady, right?
Correct.
Correct. And why don't you introduce your sidekick here?
This is Christine Chironis. She is our coordinator of aging services, and her specialty is health insurance counseling for Medicare. She trains all of our certified Medicare counselors.
You're the trainer's trainer.
I believe that's my title, yes.
Okay, so before we get to that, everybody likes to know a little bit about where Mary Ann's been. So Mary Ann, I know you just got back from a really nice vacation, I hope.
It was a very nice vacation. We were in the south of Greece again this year.
Now, this is George's hometown area, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We go back. George, all his family is still in Greece. And so we go back to the old homestead, which actually his parents left to us, and it's right next door. His sister and brother live, and he's got multiple cousins and people he went to school with. It's a little town, you walk through and everybody.
Hey!
I went to
Giorgio!
school with this one, and
Let me tell you about this guy. So, how long were you there?
We were there 3.5 weeks.
Wow.
And that's only because I have great people working for me like Chris who hold down the fort so we can get away for that long.
Well, you need to rejuvenate, so no matter what. So the weather was good?
The weather is always perfect there. It does not really rain from April through the end of September. We did see one rain, but it was mostly in the mountains,
Good.
So, yeah.
Eat good Greek food?
Oh, lots of octopus and calamari and fresh fish.
There's nothing like fresh Mediterranean food there than that.
Well, we went fishing with a cousin and
Oh, you told me you were
caught
gonna do
about
that.
17 pounds of fish. We were eating fish for 3 days, but it was so delicious.
Yeah. Well, good for you. Chris, you're new to the show, and welcome.
Thank you.
So, tell us a little bit about yourself, if you would, just, your background and how you got to where you are today.
Well, I am originally from Warren, Pennsylvania. I lived there with my family, and I met Mary Ann through the St. Nicholas Greek Orthodox Church. So I'm married to a Greek also.
Now, everybody says Chironis or Chironis, but I would say Coronis. What's the proper?
Well, actually, my father-in-law, who came over from Greece and went through Ellis Island, it's Tsironi, but when he got to Ellis Island, they Americanized his last
they did
name.
a lot of stuff.
Yes.
The CH is usually a K sound, right?
In Greek, it could be like she's saying, like a TS.
Okay.
T.
German has that, and that makes me crazy when I'm over there. Always grabbing my chin and making me.
So Chironis is
Okay.
how most people,
Americanized.
yes, So again, I met Mary Ann through our church,
Okay.
and jobs that I did when I lived in Warren were very involved with helping the community, and I enjoyed that very much. And an opportunity came up here in the Office for Aging, and Mary Ann asked me if I wanted to join the team. And I've been here now for over 5 years, and I absolutely love working for the Office for Aging. It's been the most rewarding, fun job I've ever had.
Wow, that's terrific.
Yes.
That's terrific. And my experience has been when you're working with senior citizens, they just are so appreciative of what you do for them and the information you provide. As you know, I'm a musician, and I've played a variety of places, visited them, and it's just always a ball. They're just a fun group of people as a rule, and they're always telling me jokes.
We definitely learn a lot from our seniors as well. So
They're just a wealth of information.
yes.
So, today we're going to talk about insurance. Now, most people say, "Oh, boring." This is really important right now. So let's frame it a little bit for folks. So let's talk about why it's important to talk about what we're going to talk about today, and then how easy it is for them to get the help. But let's take, and I always roll the tape back on an individual. So let's take a person that's, I don't know, in their 60s right now, because I think you should pre-plan as well. So it's not just, "Oh, you should do it today, but you should be thinking about it ahead of time." But let's say somebody's approaching their 60s, and they work for a company or they have their own insurance. But when you turn 65, everything changes, right?
Correct.
For the most part. I mean, you still could be on private insurance, but for the most part, it changes if you retire. So let's take it from the person when they're starting to plan to retire. What happens to insurance for them?
If someone is working, actively working, because that's a key phrase, if they're actively working and they're in that gap, we call them, that's an individual who's between 60 and 65, so they're not yet eligible for Medicare, but they're getting close and they need to start thinking about, okay, what happens when I turn 65? If they continue to work and they want to stay on their employer's insurance, they should enroll in just Medicare Part A, and then they do not need to take Medicare Part B because that's considered a duplication. And Medicare Part B also has a monthly premium, so, you know, cost-wise, you don't want to pay for something that you're not really using. So for individuals who are still working under 65, their biggest decision is, are they going to continue to work and utilize the employer insurance? If they choose to go into Medicare when they turn 65, which a lot of people do because the employers, the insurance can be a little bit costly. So it might be financially a better decision, not only for the individual, but also the company.
And they may give the individual an incentive to go on Medicare.
Exactly, right. So this is kind of where we get involved with the corporations. We work with the HR people to make sure that they're aware that there are options for their employees that might benefit both the company and the employee if they go into a Medicare situation. So if someone's turning 65, we usually would like them to at least contact us at least a few months before they turn 65 so that we can sit down and have a chat with them to kind of figure out what's their next step and help them through that process. Because a lot of people don't realize that, you know, you're not out on your own. This is what we do in the Office for Aging, and you don't have to be 65 in order for us to help you.
Okay, so on the show here, we always define our terms because we all have acronyms and we all have our own special little pet words. So let's, for the record, Part A. Okay, so if I'm not 65 yet, I can buy Part A, you said?
Medicare Part A is automatically given to an individual who has had at least a 10-year work history or is married to a spouse that has had a 10-year work history.
Okay, go ahead.
And it covers hospitalization.
There we go, okay.
So this is something that's free, doesn't have a cost to it, because as you've been working, you've been paying into it. So when you turn 65, that's just something that, you know, if you're not paying for it, it's a good thing to enroll in. Medicare Part B is the medical part, so that covers things like your doctor's visits, testing, radiology, medical equipment. Those things have a cost to them, and Medicare only pays 80% of that cost.
Okay, so some people are sitting right now and saying, okay, I can afford 20%. Well, they don't realize if it's a $100,000 bill, which if you're in the hospital for a week or two, it's not an issue, not a problem. I mean, and you get all those tests and doctor visits. So you could be sitting with a $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 bill like in no time flat, right?
It's very easy for that 20% to be a very high cost for individuals, yes.
Okay. So right now we're talking, right at the moment, you can get Part A and it's free, you can sign up, and that helps the employer defray some costs. Now, do they still have health insurance with the employer at that point?
This is again where the decision is made. If they remain as a active worker, then they can choose to what they call opt out of Medicare Part B and keep their employer insurance, which will still be primary for most people. If they are going to retire, they must take Medicare Part A and B, and then if they have a retirement plan from their company, that becomes a supplement. So Medicare Part A and B pays first, and the retirement plan picks up the remaining amount for most people.
Okay. I got a question while you were talking in my earpiece. They're jumping ahead here, but we might just as well get to the question. can you do this like any old time?
There are certain enrollment periods for individuals. So if you're turning 65, you have an enrollment period for Medicare of 3 months prior to the month you turn 65, the actual month that you turn 65, and 3 months after. We usually encourage people to enroll in Medicare in that 3-month period prior to when they turn 65, because if they enroll in Medicare the month of their birth or after, that Medicare can be delayed. So we always like to, be preventative and do it ahead of time. So that's why we say 2 months before you turn 65 or you're thinking of retiring, give us a call.
Now, it seems to me, if you take Social Security like at 62, when you're 65, they almost automatically enroll you.
That's correct. If an individual is already receiving Social Security when they turn 65, Medicare Part A and B are automatically enrolled for them. If they delay, say they decide they want to go on Social Security at 67 or wait till 70, they must themselves contact Social Security, and you can do that either by going to the office or calling, and you can enroll yourself into Medicare.
Okay. So, this is a little tricky. So, there's lots of time frames. Everybody's situation is different.
Right.
Okay. So, I know, Jeff, you've been popping up the phone number, but let's say it for folks that are listening on the radio right now. How do they get a hold of you?
They can contact our office through our New York Connects, which Marianne will give you the number, because that was...
we
I think
pop it
they've
up, too.
got it up, but it's
There it is.
There you go.
753-4582. You can call toll-free 661-7582 or 363-4582.
Okay.
One thing I want to dispel before we go on is I still hear from seniors that Office for the Aging only helps the poor, or people who are
Poor?
disadvantaged.
We've never said that here.
No, but I hear it from seniors. I go out and they're like,
No, give it to somebody else. I don't need
we
it."
didn't think we could come to you because we're not sick or we're not low income.
Yeah.
With health insurance counseling, we help everybody. For a donation. We don't charge a fee, and if you think that you're getting more from other people in the community who are charging $50, $60 an hour, I could tell you you're not, and they're not necessarily certified by Medicare. I believe we are the only Medicare certified counselors in the county. There are also brokers out there who tell you, we can do everything that the Office for the Aging does. And sometimes they have senior in their name, and you think, well, they must be affiliated with the Office for the Aging. No, they are not.
Tricky.
Yeah, it is tricky when people are calling themselves senior services. But they get paid on the back end. So they get an enrollment fee, and that's how, even though they don't charge people necessarily up front, our concern is that they are not certified Medicare counselors, so are they really going to give you all the options? And sometimes traditional Medicare is what's best for people. Some people have retiree plans. My mom is one of them. She worked for the University of Buffalo, and for her to stay on her retiree plan and not do Medicare Part B it costs her less and gives her the coverage that she wants.
Yes.
So it really is
Very
an individual decision.
Right. So it's not one policy fits all here at all.
Not at all. And again, depending on if you're going to work past the age of 65, we can compare what you're paying out of pocket for your employer insurance to act as that Part B, or whether it's more beneficial for you to go on a Medicare plan and save more out of pocket. I know we had a couple people from Cummins Engine who came to us after they retired at 67, and they said, oh my gosh, if I had done this when I was 65, I would have saved so much money. But it depends on employer. We've compared people who work for the county government, and it's actually less for them to stay on Chautauqua County government
Right.
insurance.
Right.
So again, it depends on your situation.
Okay, for those of you who are watching and listening right now, I can guarantee you one thing, that when you get close to 64, 63 and a half, somewhere in there, this time of year, because we're going to talk about why it's this time of year, you will get a weekly mailing from 5 or 6 different insurance companies, right? I even got some the other day, and I don't care about it. So, Chris, tell everybody why they're going to get all this mail.
Well, especially this time of year, open enrollment for people who have Medicare and are wanting to review their plans. Open enrollment is every October 15th through December 7th. And it is the crazy time of the year for health insurance. People get massive quantities of mailings from all kinds of different insurance companies. I have clients that bring their bags of mail in. And they say, what can I keep and what can I throw away? And we basically
Throw
help
everything.
them. Yes. And the poor mailmen carrying all this. So it is a time to review your plans. And all of the insurance companies have the opportunity to make changes to their plans. So even if you have a great plan this year that you really like, it's a good idea to review because there may be changes coming for the following year. And a lot of those changes can be very subtle, and people don't necessarily realize that the change has been made, even though the insurance companies by law are supposed to send a notification to a client saying this is what's changing. A lot of people don't really grasp all of the innuendos of that. So this is what we do at the Office for Aging. We sit down and we are trained individually by the insurance companies on their individual plans, as well as trained by NYSOFA, which is our state office. We're trained throughout the entire year. So we know our stuff when we come in, and people come to us and we sit down and we literally show them the differences right here based on what their individual needs are. And we're not selling anything.
You're
so
right.
we're going to tell you the good, bad, and the ugly.
You're here to serve them. right?
Exactly. And then allow the client then, based on what we've presented, to make their own decision. And most times, once they sit through this and they see what is available and how it compares, it's very easy and it takes away that anxiety, and they feel very comfortable about the choices. And then again, we're there throughout the entire year. This is not a one-stop done deal. If someone has a change in their health insurance or they need a change throughout the year, we're there to help them through that. So we work with our clients year-round.
Okay, let's roll back the tape a little bit. So, those of you that are approaching retirement age, or 65, in that ballpark, you're going to go on Medicare unless you have some special circumstances, and you're going to be enrolled in Part A and Part B in Medicare. All right? Stop me anytime if I'm wrong. That only covers 80% of typical medical bills. But we kind of haven't really said what that other 20% little thing is. We've talked about insurance, but we haven't called it by its name, and that's supplemental.
Right.
Right? So now everybody, you're 80% of the way getting covered like you used to be, maybe. And then you got to get this little extra insurance, I call it, or supplemental. It's got to supplement all that. That's what you're talking about in quite a bit right now, right?
Yes. Again, for most people, Medicare Part A and B is just not enough, because also Medicare does not cover prescription drugs. So that's a big area for individuals. And when you're turning 65, it's required or very strongly recommended that you enroll in a prescription drug plan, or you could be penalized. So in addition to Medicare, you need to look for a Part D. And you can get a Part D, D for drugs, plan either through a standalone prescription drug plan, or you can get it through a Medicare Advantage plan. And those are private plans, and many of our Chautauqua County residents are in these Medicare Advantage plans, where it is one company that is subcontracted that provides Medicare A and B, and the advantage is that it also includes a prescription drug plan.
So if they have A, B, and D,
Yes.
100% coverage or close to it, or?
Let's back up 1 second.
Please
because
do.
you talked about supplemental plans. So you can be in traditional Medicare A and B
Okay.
through the government, which covers, Medicare A covers hospitalization, B covers the doctor's tests. There's still a 20% copay
Right.
on the B, which could be covered by a supplemental plan, and then you need D for prescriptions. Okay?
And sometimes the D is part of the supplemental plan, too.
Wait a second.
Stop, John.
Stop.
Okay.
Or you can get a plan that gathers that all together. A, B, the supplement, and D, those are called Medicare Advantage
Oh, okay,
plans.
okay.
So, or all in one, okay? An all-in-one plan. So like Independent Health calls theirs what?
Well, there's Independent Health, there's Univera, United Healthcare, Humana, Blue
Don't
Cross.
they have certain specific names? Wasn't it used to be called Senior Blue?
Right,
Or do they still call
they change every year the
Okay.
names.
But they, each of these private insurance. So when you get an all-in-one plan, they take over everything to do with Medicare.
Okay.
So, and they're allowed, these private insurance companies, even though A and B, if you get them through the government only, doesn't change very much. If you either have a supplement to just pay the 20% or an all-in-one plan, all of those are private insurances, including the Part D, the formularies. Those can change every single year, but the changes don't happen till January 1 after open enrollment is done. So you are really in a catch-22 if you don't pay attention right now, because you may think you're good. We have this every year. And the poor pharmacists, I feel bad for them, because the first time it hits is when you don't realize till you go to get your prescriptions filled in January.
Bada bing!
And oh my goodness, it went up,
I was only paying $10 last year, now you're charging me $50, yeah.
Right. So your pharmacist is another resource. They don't always have the heads up on what's coming down the pipeline, but we have great relationships with our pharmacists locally. We work with them. We work with our doctors' offices.
So you can get a la carte, you can get the full 7-course meal, you can
Right.
do a variety of things.
There's two options, and this is what we go over with our clients. You can get the supplement, or they also call it a Medigap, and that is, we call it a peace of mind plan. Those plans usually cover that additional 20%. You add a prescription plan, and you've got basically 100% coverage, no copays, no nothing. Or you can go into a Medicare Advantage plan. We call that a pay-as-you-go. It doesn't have a high cost premium, and you only pay copays when you use the services. So those are the two options that are available to individuals that work with Medicare, and that's what we review during open enrollment.
And so somehow or another, you're rolling the dice.
We talk about the crystal ball a lot, and all of my high-cap counselors get a magic wand before open enrollment, because, you can't predict your health for the coming year. And this is, again, another opportunity that we assist, because a lot of folks are enrolled in a program called EPIC, which is a New York State program. And with EPIC, one of the benefits that it gives is an additional switch of your insurance once a year, anytime during the course of the year. So for individuals, that means everything, because your health can change, your medications can change through the year. And so, again, we work with the clients. If the doctor puts them on a different medication, if they have a surgery coming up, we work with them to help them make a change to their insurance so it covers the way that it needs to. So we make sure we let people know you're not stuck in whatever you enroll in. There are opportunities to be able to make changes throughout the year.
Okay.
And I just want to reiterate, this is the magic wand. EPIC really in New York State is the magic wand, because normally you only have from October 15th to December 7th to change your Medicare plans, and then you could be stuck for the rest of the year. So what Chris is saying is, something happens during the year, God forbid, you develop cancer and you're on a drug for that. I have a friend who has leukemia, more chronic, and her medications can be, if that diagnosis happens in the middle of the year, seniors are lucky in that they can sign up for Epic almost any time during the year, correct? You can
Right,
sign up
there's
for Epic. And that can be a way to change your insurance if you need to.
Okay, so right now, some seniors might be saying, okay, I still don't get it. So, but they know they need to do something. Can their sons and daughters or grandkids come in with them and talk with
We
them?
absolutely encourage a second set of ears
Okay.
because a lot of people come into our office, they're very anxious, they're very nervous. It's a very stressful time for a lot of our seniors because it's so complicated, there's so much to process. So having a family member come in is absolutely something that we encourage so that they also can hear what mom and dad or grandma and grandpa are signing up for.
Okay, let's take a breath. Folks, you're watching Chautauqua Sunrise, and I have Chris and Mary Ann from the Office for the Aging here, and we're talking about health insurance and supplementals and Part A, B, D, alphabet soup here. And I'm not going to pretend to explain it all to you because I won't try, but they're the professionals at this. And if you have a question for them right this minute, give us a call at 753-5225, okay? Don't be shy. Okay, so people might be thinking right now, okay, so like who pays you guys? And, I don't think they understand the Office for the Aging and how it's funded and all that. I mean, so how do you exist?
So the Office for the Aging was established by the Older Americans Act in 1965, right, when Medicare and Medicaid were being developed. The problem with that is they put it in a discretionary pot of money because at the time, our life expectancy was 65 years of age.
Oh, dear.
So they started the Older Americans Act
Good news, bad news, John.
to help people who weren't eligible for Medicaid and maybe weren't in Medicare yet, if they needed some assistance to help stay in the community. Our health insurance counseling program came later because really wasn't needed before private insurance was allowed into the Medicare realm. But so most of our money is established by Congress if they ever come to a budget. Hopefully we are line itemed for that. Right now we are under a continuing resolution. If people hear that term being used, that means that Congress has not passed a budget. And so all the non-mandated programs especially, they have to establish funding levels every year. And so we fall into that non-defense discretionary funding, which unfortunately makes some of our congressional people feel like, well, maybe we're not real necessary. I don't want to say that about ours in particular. I'm using that in general, because I think Congressman Reed really understands what we do. He works so closely with his staff on a lot of issues. But it's still our Congress needs to hear from individuals that Office for the Aging is a help to them. And this program, Health Insurance Counseling, has been extremely underfunded. We only get about $30,000 a year, and we have 9 health insurance counselors. Yes, it does not cover our costs. We do not charge a fee.
Right.
Because we want everybody to be able to afford it, but we do ask for donations, and I think our donation is only, I requested
$20.
about $20.
That's a bargain.
I think other people charge, $60. But again, you have to look at your own. There are people that can't afford that $20, and
sure.
it's an anonymous donation. We don't even know who donates.
Okay. Just for the sake of discussion, you said back then the average age lifespan was 65. What's it now? Ballpark. 102?
Women and men. No, it's. I think it's in the late 70s,
I think
early
you're right, yeah.
80s. Women tend to be a little bit higher than the men. The average age in our home care program is 82.
The reason why I mention that is because people think, well, I'll worry about that down the road, or you know, they just stay with the status quo, and people are living longer, and they can save a lot of money over a long time because you're going to live longer. You know, even though they think some people have this death wish, I don't know, but they say if I make it to 70, I'll be lucky. But most people are living well into their 80s and 90s and so forth. So this is something they really need to take seriously because it's part of your lifestyle from here on out, really.
Right.
Okay. We haven't talked about location, or hours. So where do they go and what are your times? We talked about your phone number, but where do you go? So tomorrow, somebody wanted, or not tomorrow, Monday, they wanted to come down to the office. Do you show up? Do they call ahead? What do we do?
Well, this time of the year, it's very difficult for us to take a walk-in. So we recommend that people do contact our New York Connects helpline. And what happens is we have 3 outreach offices, one located in Jamestown, one in Dunkirk.
Okay, where in Jamestown?
It's at 310 West,
610.
or I'm sorry, 610 West 3rd. And that's right across the street from Farm Fresh Plaza. So everybody go get your donuts and then come see us. And then we have an office up in Dunkirk at our senior center in Dunkirk.
And where's that?
That's it.
45 Cliff Star Drive,
Cliff Star Drive. That's off of 20?
off of 60.
Off 60, okay.
And then we also have our Mayville office, which is at 7 North Erie Street.
Okay, just down the road from me.
Right. So there's an opportunity, no matter where you live, to come to one of our offices. But if you contact New York Connects, make the call, then an appointment will be set for you.
Okay.
And that way we have a designated amount of time that we can work with you, and we don't want you to feel rushed. We want to be able to answer all your questions.
Monday through Friday?
Monday through Friday.
From when to when?
8:30 to 4:30. Open enrollment. We're accommodating individuals on weekends and also in the evenings, because a lot of people are working and they want to come with mom and dad. So during open enrollment, we do fluctuate our hours to accommodate as many people as we can.
That's great.
But I do encourage people, call early. We will fill up, especially if you wait till the last minute. I mean, these guys can only work so much. And we get too many people who call us the last week of open enrollment. Not a smart idea. Some of them, there was last year we had to send to the State Office for the Aging or to CMS directly to be counseled. That's over the phone. We don't like to do that, but we can't help. We only have so many people and so many slots, and they have to sleep sometime. So please call early, because we will, try to get you in locally. We want that one-on-one. We know how important that is. But if you wait till the last minute, we can't guarantee that we're going to be able to see you.
So what happens on December 8th if you didn't get it done?
You're stuck with whatever you had last year,
Okay.
and no matter how much it went up, unless you
Have Epic.
unless you have Epic, and then we might be able to do something
Okay.
about switching you out.
Okay, very good. What's one of the common mistakes people make if they don't, other than not switching or making the right choice on the insurance plan, are there other common mistakes? Because I know of a situation where somebody actually ended up buying like 2 supplemental plans. They got the flyer in the mail, so I got to do this, and didn't realize they already had it. Is that typical?
Well, we do see, especially at this time of the year, the insurance companies are, really very present. And what happens is an individual may sign a card allowing an insurance company to contact them.
Right.
And not really understanding the difference between, that private insurance company.
And they scare the wits out of you what's going to happen, not realizing they're already covered anyway.
Right. We may have someone that thinks they're enrolled in this, and they get a phone call, and through the course of the conversation or that home visit, that plan is changed. And whatever you end up enrolling in by December 7th is what will be your insurance for the coming year. So we do have some seniors who are unsure, who did I end up enrolling with? Because I spoke to this company, but I came in and saw Office for Aging. So once you make a decision, unless you absolutely change your mind, don't interact anymore. You're done. So that's a big thing that we do see, that our seniors are very confused by.
Right.
And I do want to caution people, we did have a gentleman going around door to door, broker, who was signing some people up for plans that don't have any doctors or real coverage in this area. And actually, earlier this year, we had a nice visit from the FBI wanting to track down. Luckily, all the people that they identified to us had subsequently come into the Office for the Aging, and we had changed them out. But if you are going through a broker, please make sure it's an established broker with an office. They should not be coming door to door to see you. And if you have a concern about somebody who's come to your house, please call us. We work very closely with the Sheriff's Department on these things, and as I said, the FBI when needed.
Good. One more source of information for the Office for the Aging is your new Facebook page. And will you have information about all this as well?
Yes, and one of the things that we're starting to do is we're going to be doing little Medicare Minute type videos about topics throughout open enrollment to help individuals, because like Marianne was alluding to, there's a lot of fraud and scamming going on right now for our seniors. So that is something that we want to make sure that seniors know. Don't give out any personal information over the phone to anyone.
Right. Okay.
So.
Okay, and the Facebook page is basically Chautauqua County Office for the Aging. Just look that up, and up it pops. We got a phone call.
Okay, great.
Someone I think you know.
You think so?
Good morning, caller.
Oh, good morning, Jack. Good
Oh,
morning,
could it-
Mary
who
Ann.
could it
Good
be?
morning,
Hi,
Chris.
Linda.
It's great to see you on the show, and thank you for that Facebook page. I love it.
It was way easy. You're welcome.
Linda's been taking quite advantage, and we do have to thank you, Doc, for getting us started. This
It was very easy to do once John helped me, D'Angelo helped me out, and so on. But yeah,
well, but it's something that's been on our mind for quite a while, and just
it's
because
taken off, hasn't it?
it
Yes.
really has, and it's been a great venue not only to, if you want to listen again to this program, anything that we said today, there's
We're
a
gonna
link
paste it-
on there.
we're gonna paste it in there, right?
And but there's a lot of other good information about computer training that Linda's doing, about our Alzheimer's caregiver grant and the work we're doing around that, and of course on Medicare open enrollment.
So Linda, what do you want? They're talking instead of you talking.
I just wanted to say good morning. It's great to see them on the show, and how much I love the Facebook page.
Okay. So do you have any trainings going on that people should know about?
Oh, yes, we do have the computer training at
Okay.
the Brockton, Ohio Library. And by the way, there's going to be a graduation November 2nd
Wow.
at 1 o'clock. Everybody's invited. And the poster is on Facebook. It was just put on Friday.
See how cool that is? Wonderful.
And, of course, we have computer training at the Patterson Library
Westfield.
and at the Olean One Step.
Super.
And
Okay.
it's free.
All right. Well, we got a minute left, so I'll let you three split this up anyway.
Okay, have a great weekend.
Okay, Lynn.
Bye, Linda.
Take
Bye.
care. So, minute left. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I just want to remind people we're here for them. Get your appointment early, and please let your congressional and even local representatives know about how Office for the Aging was able to help you. It's really important that they hear from the citizens how important our office is.
Okay, and let's put that phone number up one more time. Let me see. 753. No, I don't know. I wrote a different number here. 753-4471. And Chris, you get final words. What do you want folks to know before we sign off here?
Just want to let people know they don't need to be anxious. They don't need to worry. Come see us. we'll sit down, and we love our jobs. We get a lot of hugs, and we just want to let people know that we're there to help them.
Okay. Well, that's great to know. And once again, folks, that's your taxpayer money providing for you. So take advantage of it and get out there and get all your questions answered. Don't sit around fretting and wringing hands. Well, that does it for this show, folks. I hope you've enjoyed it and learned some things. Give these folks a call. They're really nice people. I visit them, and they have really nice offices, especially Linda. She's got the best, I got to tell you. She's got a great window there. Anyways, I'm Doc Hamels, and you've been listening to the folks from the Office for the Aging, and we're going to do this all again right here next Saturday at 9 a.m. Have a nice weekend. Get out there and enjoy the great weather, because it's going to be a little soggy later in the week. Take care, and keep having those stink bugs. I am. Bye now.